If you're relatively new to the grim darkness of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, you've likely been swept up in the cataclysmic events that have reshaped its very fabric in recent years. From the thunderous onslaught of the 13th Black Crusade to the shattering fall of Cadia, followed by the ambiguous emergence of Ynnari, and culminating in the awe-inspiring return of the Avenging Sun, Robute Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines. These events have not only altered the course of history, but have breathed new life into a universe once thought to be trapped in stasis. Before these massive changes, the Warhammer 40,000 setting was characterized by a certain stagnation. Stories and books existed in isolation, with their significance often contained within their own narrative confines. While this insularity had its merits, it also posed limitations, namely the severe lack of actual impact in the setting, resulting in the previously mentioned stagnation. But the wind of change that washed over the setting also has its demerits. The risk of tampering with the essence of what made the universe captivating for many people still looms, threatening to alienate the loyal fan base that had been entrenched in its lore for years. In my view, the decision to propel the setting forward was a necessary one. It has opened up a myriad of new possibilities, offering a rich variety of circumstances, events, and theories ripe for exploration. As someone who delved into this universe over a decade ago, I find the current landscape far more intriguing, brimming with untold stories and uncharted territories. However, these seismic shifts have not come without their drawbacks. Inconsistencies abound, and promising plot lines have been left to wither on the vine, their potential unfulfilled. The collateral damage of such monumental changes cannot be ignored, and it's essential to acknowledge the mixed bag of consequences that accompanies progress. The Aeldari have been the most affected by these interesting and arguably even beneficial plot lines that were either abandoned or completely disregarded. When we examine the other factions, it becomes evident that this is a significant issue. The Imperium now boasts two active Primarchs, Guilliman and the Lion himself, both crucial for the Imperium's survival following the catastrophic events that led to the Cicatrix Maledictum. This advantage is essential in an age of witches, where real space is saturated with the chaotic energies of the Sea of Souls. Chaos itself has never been stronger. With the opening of the Great Rift, their influence has expanded significantly across the stars. With Vashdor and Abaddon now collaborating, Chaos has achieved victory after victory since the fall of Cadia. The return of the Silent King marks a significant moment for the Necrons. His efforts to reunite scattered dynasties, alongside the inclusion of Illuminus Cirrus and the construction of the Pariah Nexus, have greatly improved the Necrons' standing in the galaxy. Though his true intentions remain unknown, his actions have benefited the Necrons considerably. The Tau has now split in two, resulting in the creation of the Farsight Enclaves. Under Commander Farsight's leadership, the Farsight Enclaves provide the Tau with an opportunity to escape the silent oppression of the ethereal caste. Other factions have remained relatively unchanged. The Orcs continue their relentless warmongering, battling the Tyranid Hive Fleet Leviathan in the Octarius sector. The Tyranids continue to consume the galaxy, with the devastation of Baal being their most notable recent development. Primarch Guilliman's intervention saved the Blood Angels from near destruction, bringing with him freshly made recruits in the form of the Primaris Space Marines designed by Archmagos Belisarius Call. This new supply of manpower would surely save the Blood Angels and all of their successor chapters from the certain annihilation they were facing. Now you may be wondering, didn't the Aeldari receive significant attention as well? The answer is, of course, yes. The Aeldari, or more specifically the Ynnari, played an essential role in the events leading to the resurrection of Primarch Robute Guilliman. This event brought a significant boost to the faction's popularity and provided a much-needed and deserved breath of fresh air for the Aeldari. Or should I say, if all other relevant factions are receiving attention, the Aeldari should also be included. I'll delve into why the half-birth of Ynnari is both advantageous and disadvantageous for the Aeldari as a whole shortly. First, let's discuss the birth of the God of the Dead and some of the events leading up to Guilliman's return. During the 41st millennium, the powerful High Farseer Aeldari sensed a subtle convergence of soul energy while communing with his craftworld's infinity circuit. This psychic resonance, buried within the collective consciousness of deceased Aeldari, heralded the emergence of Ynnari, the god of the dead, a figure prophesied to vanquish She Who Thirsts, the Aeldari's greatest nemesis. Originally, Ynnari's birth was foreseen to occur after the extinction of the Aeldari race, as the last remnants of their psychic essence coalesced to form the deity. However, Aeldari perceived an opportunity to hasten this process, recognizing Ynnari as their potential savior from the clutches of Slaanesh. To expedite Ynnari's emergence, Aeldari devised an elaborate ritual to be conducted on the psychoactive sands of the crystal moon, Cohera. Harnessing the psychic energy stored within the Aeldari infinity circuits scattered across the galaxy, Aeldari aimed to catalyze Ynnari's premature birth. Yet, a complication arose. The moon was under Imperial control, though deemed insignificant compared to its host world, Port Demesnes. In a bid to divert Imperial attention from Cohera, Aeldari orchestrated an attack on Port Demesnes, intending to occupy Imperial forces until the ritual's completion. However, Watch Captain Artemis of the Death Watch saw through the ruse. His kill team intervened, engaging the Xenos forces in a fierce battle that disrupted the ritual and scattered the gathered psychic energy. Amidst the chaos, a lone mote of power found its way to Camorra, landing upon a deceased gladiator. Thus, Yvraine was resurrected as the Daughter of Shades, becoming the first member of the Ynnari, the heralds of Ynnari's resurrection. These events marked a significant shift in the Aeldari's place within the galaxy. Once teetering on the brink of extinction, their future seemed sealed, destined to be vored by Slaanesh. However, they suddenly found themselves with a glimmer of hope, a chance to defy their grim fate and carve out a path to survival amidst the hostile cosmos. These developments held immense potential for an intriguing plotline. Regrettably, this potential remained largely untapped as Games Workshop gradually veered away from these new concepts. The initial introduction was promising, introducing new characters and an entirely new Aeldari deity. This approach worked because it respected the essence of the Aeldari without alienating the established fanbase. By introducing a new sub-faction, such as the Ynnari, the original essence of the Aeldari faction was preserved while still offering something novel to the table. The Ynnari presented the Aeldari with a final chance for unity and survival, a cause worth fighting for in the face of shifting galactic dynamics brought about by the return of the Primarchs and the Silent King. However, despite the good premise, the execution faltered after the first moment. Ynnari, the newly introduced deity, remained weakened following the disruption of the ritual intended to bring it into existence. To remedy this, Yvraine devised a plan to retrieve all the scattered crone swords, legendary weapons of great power attributed to the Aeldari goddess of fate, Morai Heg. The intention was to unite these artifacts, channeling their power over life and death to awaken Ynnari and ultimately vanquish Slaanesh. Currently, all but one of these crone swords have been recovered, yet the real challenge lies in retrieving the final sword. A greater demon of Slaanesh, known as Shalaxi Hellbane, has seized this last artifact, placing it within the Palace of Slaanesh, an inaccessible realm deep within the domain of She Who Thirsts. Tasked with both guarding the Crone Sword and eliminating Yvraine, Hellbane orchestrated a fierce battle on a maiden world. Despite the Ynnari's valiant efforts, they barely managed to defeat Hellbane, only to discover that it was but a mere shadow of the true demon's power. This setback casts a dark shadow over the Ynnari's prospects. Their recent struggle against a mere shadow of a greater demon showcases their weakness and suggests that they are ill-prepared to retrieve the final Crone Sword and fulfill their divine purpose. The abrupt abandonment of these plotlines can largely be attributed to a glaring lack of sales. Games Workshop had anticipated a significantly higher return, both in terms of new miniatures and lore books. However, there's a compelling reason why the new sub-faction failed to resonate as expected. Timing is, of course, the primary issue. The emergence of Ynniad occurred post the fall of Cardia, a juncture where the most captivating events in the setting had already transpired. This storyline reached its apex with the resurrection of Guilliman, precisely when interest began to wane for the Ynnari. The return of a Primarch stands as one of the greatest occurrences within the lore, commanding massive attention. Consequently, the Ynnari found themselves overshadowed by this monumental event. With Guilliman's return, the narrative focus shifted towards him, drawing attention away from other aspects of the lore. Like a gravitational force, the Primarch became the central point around which the most intriguing narratives revolved, leaving little room for interest in other plotlines among the fan base. The current predicament appears to offer little in the way of resolution, particularly with the emergence of yet another significant figure in Lionel Johnson, further diverting the fan base's attention. However, amidst this challenge lies a potential avenue for rejuvenating interest in the Aeldari narrative. One viable solution could involve intertwining the fate of the Aeldari with that of humanity, fostering a more consistent collaboration between the two factions. Numerous opportunities for such collaboration have presented themselves in the past, but remained largely unexplored. For instance, the destruction of the Garden of Nurgle could serve as a catalyst for the liberation of Isha, the Aeldari goddess of life, who could play a significant part in finally bringing the God of the Dead into existence. Were the Ynnari to join forces with humanity in this endeavor, seizing the opportunity presented by the burning of the garden, they might achieve significant progress towards freeing Isha from Nurgle's grasp. Alternatively, the Ynnari could endeavor to reunite the shattered remnants of Cain, the sole Aeldari deity to have confronted Slaanesh during the apex of her power. Though Cain was sundered, his shards utilized to create the avatars, his resurrection could potentially provide a potent weapon in the battle against She Who Thirsts. By exploring these avenues of collaboration and leveraging their shared interests and resources, the Aeldari and humanity could forge a formidable alliance, offering fresh narrative possibilities and reigniting interest in their intertwined fate amidst the shifting dynamics of the galaxy. These reflections stem from my personal perspective on the matter. As a fervent fan of the Aeldari faction, witnessing their gradual decline in potential following the fall of Cardia has been profoundly disheartening. It's evident that they require a significant catalyst to elevate them to a more equitable standing among the other factions. However, the current situation appears bleak, with no clear path forward. But these are just my thoughts. I'm curious to hear your perspectives on the current state of the Aeldari. Do you share similar concerns, or do you see things differently? If you believe there are issues with the Aeldari's current portrayal, what solutions do you propose? Feel free to share your thoughts in in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. I'll catch you all next week. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.